Hello everyone and welcome to our new webinar. It's July 28th, so final webinar for this month. Now let me know if everything is fine, if everything running smoothly. I can see that Hassan is here. He sent me a private message. Okay, I'm not sure where did you contacted us, but maybe it's better maybe on X. NS is here, Khalifa is like always is also here, Damon is here. Do we have anyone else? Just please say hello in our live chat here. As you know, we have seen got some important news out during this weekend. Finally, the US and the European Union has reached the agreement regarding tariffs, the 50% on imports from the Europe. So it looks like that somehow markets see this as a win-win situation, but basically it's a win for the US because still there will be a bit more expensive stuff from Europe, because Trump's goal is that in the US, Americans will be buying the local American stuff. Okay, so he just doesn't care if the goods from the European Union will be a bit more expensive, because then obviously maybe consumers will look for some other alternatives. But at the end of the day, maybe this still can bring on the inflation, because if US consumers will still be looking to buy the products from the Europe no matter what the price is, because maybe some stuff are not there and you still need to buy them, then maybe this can even cause some inflation as well. And that's why, because maybe the US still got what it want at the end, that's why we are seeing the US dollar moving to the upside. Stocks have seen some push higher as well, but as you know, there were some speculations at the end of the day, because you always think that at some point they will have to reach some kind of agreement, and that's the goal. So still August 1st is not here yet. There could be some positive news during this week as well from the US-China trade talks as well, that could maybe be supportive for these markets. So yes, thanks Tim. If we look at some stuffs here, but before we go to some analysis, let me just remind you that we have stocks beta version. Okay, so you can see this tab here next to Forex and crypto stuff that it's a paid service. So that's now a split service, and it's absolutely free access for major markets, some of the US single stocks that we cover there. Okay, and new report has been uploaded last week, so it's still fine. We have some important earnings this week, and I'm pretty sure that maybe some levels described there and the wave patterns could be quite interesting. So make sure to register and you will be able to download the report here on the right. Now let me start with the 10-year US Treasuries, still trapped in this range. I think we have let me check calendar here real quick. We have the BOG, and rate decision from the Fed will be on Wednesday. So we have BOG, Fed, and also some other data like inflation in Australia as well. As you know, that's the most important inflation reading for rates to be moved either up or down. So that could keep markets a bit interesting and volatile. Still, no one expects any kind of surprises from the Fed. 4.5% is on hold. Maybe there could be a bit more interesting moves in summer. But even if they would cut, it could be one and done, and still it doesn't mean that the dollar will move to the downside. It could basically reverse when this is if this happens. So US Treasury is still trapped in the range, but as we talked already last time, based on two interpretations, we were expecting a recovery either for a wave E rally that belongs to an ongoing bearish lag within a hard degree triangle, which is our primary wave count. So I think that there's still a room for more weakness. That's the primary wave count, but even alternate count suggested that we could see some rebound, and still based on both interpretations, there is room for move to the upper side of the range, because if we are in the range in this summer and until this range is broken, we can just focus on some basic stuffs, basic technical analysis, and expect markets to be moving up and down between the ranges. So currently we are in the upward swing here. So if that's going to be the case, it means that the 10-year treasuries could up in the near term. That means that the US yields could see a bit more weakness maybe in the short term, and this could possibly cause some more downside as well on the dollar. So despite this lag to the upside that we are seeing today at the open, just a second. Okay. So despite this current rate that we see at the start of the week, as you know, what I think and about Mondays, whenever there are strong moves on Mondays, keep in mind that that's the movement caused by news from the weekend, right? So I think that during the course of the week, there will be some new important data and events that will try to impact the price action. So I would not be surprised if we'll get some flows that will basically try to change this this trend back to the downside, and maybe even dollar will erase all of the gains from today. So basically what I'm tracking is still potential one more low that could come with this ending diagonal. As you know, that could be a lot of traders could be on the wrong foot, especially if we see a print of a new lows, and there will be a lot of excitement, especially after this slow summer ranges here, that dollar is ready to resume lower. As you know, we have seen some very interesting or similar price action here. Okay, so basically that's okay, that was summer 2024. Okay, so we were trading to the downside. We have seen, I remember this pretty well, that we were tracking an ending diagonal down here, a reversal pattern into very nice and strong support. Okay, so it was ahead of September, when we know that markets will get back to normal flows, and it means that flows could change, and Fed back here cut the rates when everyone expected obviously that the rates will be cut. That's why we have seen dollar move to the downside, but when they finally cut them, market reversed to the opposite. So maybe something similar could be playing out here. Still, we have a few weeks, maybe even 2 months left for this downtrend to be completed, but keep in mind that we could be running into some very late stages of this trend here. So keep in mind that there can be some rally. I'm not saying the dollar will be bullish. I'm just thinking that maybe the hard degree correction could show up once we retest another low here, in my opinion. Also looking at the euro dollar, we came pretty nicely to the upside here in the last 2 weeks or so. It's been 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks. After retest of the previous swing high here, a very nice broken trend line as well, or channel if you want, and now we are testing the same trend line right here. So I think that there is a chance that we will see a very nice rebound. I think that 119 112 is a pretty well, not 112, 120 is a pretty strong resistance area that everyone is watching up there. So again, I would not get too excited with the bulls once we are approaching these levels, but for now we still have higher highs, higher swing lows. That's the uptrend, and obviously we should stick to it, especially with this kind of a price action, when you have an overlapping decline for a wave 4 and a break out of this channel here. But I think that there are some much better maybe currencies to look on the long side. Commodity currencies are, some of them, not every commodity currencies are still having some very nice price action that I will cover in a second. But before we go there, let me also look at pound. As you know, last time we talked about pound that broken this trend line support. We found then some base here at the previous swing high and rallied very sharply, but again we are turning back to the downside. So I think that we have some serious evidences that really cable is already in a corrective phase, while some of the other currencies like euro dollar, for example, maybe still have one more push to the upside, and then we will see a reversal. But as I already said a few weeks back, that not all the markets will make top or low at the same day when you are seeing some important swings across the different assets here. So I think that maybe cable is the first one that really shows us that there could be more weakness coming here, and maybe just be aware that it can be a bit too late to look for any kind of opportunities on the long side. I mentioned that commodity currencies, some of them are looking good. I mean, dollar CAD here, we're looking at the price action down from start of the year, and looks like a very nice ongoing bearish impulse. Now some consolidation, which preferred wave count shows that we could be in a fourth wave triangle. Maybe we still see another retest here of 139 levels, which would be much more ideal resistance since it's at the 38.2%. But if the price will be keep chopping around for the next few days, for this week, then I just think that we will see rather a break to the downside rather than a push higher here. But even if we see a push higher, still watch out for a reversal to the downside. So I still think that this one is sell or rally, and it's looking pretty good here. Someone asked for euro pound gold. Yes, we will cover this, so stay with me. I will definitely look in some of this markets. So here is dollar yen. Last week I also shared on X the idea that when the market was trading to the downside here, I was somehow skeptical that this will continue straight to the downside. We had a free wave drop, and we had this gap here still unfilled. That was weekend Sunday gap around 148.81. So I thought that, okay, because it's Monday, still start of the week, that during the second half of the week we could see some reversal happening, and we have seen a very nice rebound so far, and looks like that we still have room to fill this gap and then maybe even potentially hit a new high. So it doesn't mean that I'm bullish on dollar yen. Maybe short term, very short term intraday I am, but longer term to mid-term I'm still more neutral to bearish, and there's a very strong resistance around 150, 151. Also, if we take a look here, it could be an ending diagonal, and we know that the ending diagonal is a pretty strong reversal pattern. Okay, and of course we need firstly all 5 subwaves here for a wave C, which it's not the case yet. So 150, very strong psychological round figure, and also 151 is something that you should watch for, right? So we also have BOG. As you know, BOG of course said that I think it was a few weeks back that they're only temporary on a pause now, on hold, and that they will be looking to raise the rates further. Okay, and if that's going to be the case, then we know that dollar yen could see a serious reversal lower, especially if at the same time Fed would really give us some kind of a hint that they will cut rates. Now looking at we have dollar NOK here. So I said earlier that some commodity currencies are doing fine. So here is dollar NOK. Firstly, we retested this support here. It was a pretty strong one. If we look a little bit back, it was some kind of a pivot of this triangle here around 10.40. So then we rebounded pretty sharply, and then finally we broke through that level, and then with the recent price action, this rally, we have seen this as a resistance, slightly lower, but still it was rally only in 3 waves. And now this looks like a bear flag here. Okay, so that's one thing. And then you go to the smaller time frame, and you see that you have a very nice broken channel support here and a pretty nice overlapping price action. So I think that that's a correction, and I would not be surprised to see more weakness here. In fact, we stopped at the previous wave 4 here and at this trend line from the outside, so this really looks very nice for more weakness while the market is trading below 10.34, and I'm basically short on this one, and will update our my positions in our members area as always. So by the way, if you're interested in more analysis like this, make sure to visit us at wavetraders.com. We have Forex, crypto, and under Forex, of course, we cover plenty of more instruments. If not, everything is fine. I will be here, try to be here each Monday. So make sure to subscribe and like our channel and video here. Looking at gold, still it's trapped in consolidation, and if you were here with us last Monday, then you know that I've been saying that 3,400 above that we have a pretty strong resistance that may not be easy to break, because everyone was just so excited about this push to new highs that unfortunately this will not always happen so easily. So what we are seeing right now is some significant reversal, which basically makes sense if there is some optimism right now regarding these tariffs globally, that finally this story will end and everyone will be satisfied. Then it's no reason for investors to look for, at least at this stage, look for some kind of a safe havens bets. So maybe that's why we have seen some reversal to the downside. And what is the most important right now is that this looks like an impulse. So we should see more weakness either after this wave B rally, and then we see completion of a wave E somewhere around 3,300. So that would be first support. But what's the most important is that you see three waves into that area. Okay, so you have some kind of a confirmation from a price action that you know that wave E is really coming to an end, because if the market will just continue straight to the downside, then this will still be like an impulse. So in such case, I think it's would also be appropriate to maybe observe a bit deeper support around 3,200, where this wave C could still be in progress. So that's why I'm saying that maybe it's better to wait a little bit more here, not just blindly focus on support levels. The substructures are also important, how the price action itself will unfold into one of those levels. But technically, we are certainly still in this consolidation that sooner or later could take us higher, but we could be close to a new reversal, but not there yet based on this intraday price action. And by the way, I will be updating regularly our intraday charts for our members as well through the week. Now looking at crude oil, is moving slightly to the upside. Not really sure what triggered this move right now. If anyone has any idea, maybe I missed something, let me know here in the chat. Someone is saying, so on gold, maybe a good short entry would be 3,360. I think that if you're looking more for some kind of positions that you hold maybe for session or a few sessions, I think that 3,380 is something to watch for. You can see that the previous swing highs around that level, here 370, 380 was a pretty strong one. So we went through and now we are back below that area. So I think that that's a pretty interesting zone, because also it was some minor wave 4 here, if I'm not mistaken, around 3,380. But of course, maybe you just should pick a bit more levels and rather look for scale in, scale out, rather than just focus on one liquidation point. Now looking at crude oil, I said crude oil is here. Trump on Russia, I'm going to make a new deadline for about 10 or okay, thanks. So crude oil is basically moving still sideways here. Despite some current pop-up in price, we are basically still in a triangle. So it's a wave B. The first resistance is right now right here around $67. If we broke through this trend line, if we see a daily close above this, let me zoom this in, above this red trend line here, and you see daily close somewhere around 67.50, not at 67.01. You want to see always, when you're looking for breakouts, you want to pay attention to decisive breakouts. So I think that 750, if you see a daily close there, then there would be a chance that 69 or slightly higher prices could be retested. But don't forget that this was an impulsive sell-off. Okay, now it's a consolidation. So I think that this consolidation is totally normal because market was very volatile. Here we have seen some serious push to the upside, then a strong drop. Now it's time for a pause, but still the next move, in my opinion, is yet to come to the downside, and I think that the $60 could be a very, very important support. And also Trump said that he wants even lower crude oil prices last week, if I'm not mistaken. Now looking at German DAX, let me check my list here, and let me check. That's the hour as well. Okay, so German DAX, we have seen some excitement at the opening this week, today, but then markets reversed lower. So maybe firstly markets rallied because, okay, this story has ended finally. We have the trade deals on the table. Everything is fine. We are back to normal business. But then basically, if the previously were tariffs for between 0 and 5, now they are 15, that's a damn pretty big, still a big difference. So that's why maybe German DAX is making some push to the downside. It was also maybe visible like buy the rumor, sell the news impact. But looking at the whole price action, there's a very nice support. The first one maybe around 24,000. So let's see what happens there, how the market closes, how maybe the US session will play out. If we see some push to the upside through the US sessions on the US stock market, then even German DAX could tomorrow try to follow the pattern as well to the upside. If during the US session hours you will see some deeper correction in the US stocks, then I think that wave 4 here will be still just in the middle of the whole correction, and maybe supports to watch then could be around 23,500. So that's for German DAX. For now, still a pause, but at some point I think that there could be a more upside coming. Now looking at the S&P 500, maybe trying to focus on this closer intraday wave structure. Looks like that we can count 5 waves up here from that. That was from start of June. So basically we are in a pretty healthy recovery for the last 2 months. But notice that now we are in a wave 5 that equals to wave 1 here. When looking at the distance, the length measured from end of wave 4, so we could be moving into some resistance here, but even maybe not there yet, because we need 5 sub waves here within wave 5. So watch out maybe for another leg to the upside and then a reversal. But if you see at any given time here a daily close and a push out of this upward channel, then I think that we are stepping into a wave 4. And I still think that maybe during August here, maybe even September as well, all of the both months were pretty choppy and corrective here, as you can see on the seasonality charts. So maybe it's something that we could, that S&P 500 could also trigger here as well this year. Now looking very quickly at some of the single stocks, as I said, you have the reports available to download here, so go to our website and register there. I will be very quick on some of them. We have Amazon. I think that we have earnings that will be released Thursday, so after the close you will get new earnings. And looking at the price action here, maybe a closer look, it's maybe time for some pause here. Don't chase markets up there, especially after this event, but if we see some gaps lower and then some consolidation, and then later on could see some opportunities, especially if any kind of a gaps will be a bit higher here. So after the dip, I still think that this one is looking pretty nice. Looking at eBay, we covered this one a few weeks back when we were looking for this wave 4. Looks like a very nice push to the upside in a wave 5. Ideal target would be around 86.85, as long as we are trading above 75.60 or 76. But keep in mind that not always the markets will give you the perfect subdivision. So whenever there is a fifth wave at the new highs, maybe it's time to scale out of the positions rather than waiting on some perfect structures, and then at some point you lose what you have made so far. So keep in mind that we are already at all-time highs, and maybe we are closer to potential reversal. Now looking also at Meta, let me check if I think that Meta also has earnings this week. Yes, on Wednesday after the close. And this one still looks pretty nice as the market trades here above this invalidation point. Okay, so if that was an extended wave 1 and then a wave 3, that was a wave 4. Notice that very nice bull flag here. So I think that we could see a bit more gains as well. Someone says any discount. You mean any discount for our services? We have a trial version as well, so you can test our services, but stocks are free, as you know. Now here we have this ABC decline trying to break this channel. So but since we have traveled a pretty nice move here up towards 724, I just think that that's not an impulse from the highs. It's a correction, can always be a bit more complex than you currently have here, but at some point new highs will follow, and ideally as long as we are holding these levels. Now let's take a look on Nike as well. Nike here is, as you know, I shared this analysis from very big to smaller charts. I said that this correction on monthly is looking very similar to this one from 97 to 2000, and looks like that we have some pretty nice rebound here, especially with an ending diagonal that can be easily counted on a weekly, daily time frame. And even here, if we see on one more push higher, by the way, we are already trading higher in pre-session here, and the market will open in just around 2 minutes. So it looks like that we have an impulse from the lows. So maybe then after some pullbacks, be aware of more upside, but I certainly think that Nike is doing pretty well. And as I said, we covered Nike as well. I think it was here, yes, 3 weeks back. Still, I will update obviously some of those charts in our new report in maybe already in the next few days. Let's take a look also now on cryptocurrencies. So what's happening there? We have seen some intraday consolidations. What's the most important? The most important is that this was only a free wave movement from the high. So last Monday, we thought that we mentioned also that could be a wave 4 a bit deeper because the triangle was visible here in the middle, and looks like that a very nice rebound so far, and suggests that we are back in recovery mode. We also recovered here above this channel, so I think that more gains could be seen, and even altcoins maybe still could do a bit better, especially if we consider that Bitcoin dominance here is turning to the downside. We even see a rejection of the previous swing lows that becomes new resistance here, but here could be some supports, especially we consider that was a wedge in the previous recovery. And whenever you see a completed wedge, there are two targets that you should focus on. Firstly, the wave 2, because market will usually retrace all the way to the starting point of this trend line. So that was a wave 2, or maybe you will see a reversal all the way back towards this starting point of a wave 1 of the whole ending diagonal. So that's basically the first area to watch for, especially because first leg was a pretty big one within this ending diagonal. That's why maybe this one is much more appropriate and important. But still, it looks like that we could see some more weakness, and then you have on the opposite side Ethereum dominance still just making a very nice and strong push to the upside. So When you have Bitcoin pointing still to new highs, but other coins are looking better at the same time, then obviously alt season is here, and looks like that we could see even more gains. In fact, if we take a look here on this total market caps, there's a crypto total market cap still not at the new highs. This one that excludes Bitcoin also not trading at the new highs. You have here without Ethereum and without Bitcoin also not at the new highs. And then you have alts as well pushing to the upside. I would not say that we are going back to new highs from here. I would just always try to focus on minimum targets, and that would be C to A target from that low, from April lows. Okay, that was that low when Trump announced those tariff changes, and we have seen nice rebound from there. Of course, different markets, if stocks would stabilize, then of course even this market will, the crypto market will slow down as well at some resistance. So first resistance to watch would be around 3050 or 60 billions or so, where we have these C waves based on alternate scenario equal to the first leg, and you also have the 61.8% of this wave B, if we consider that the triangle could be a bit more complex. But still, we have room to make further gains. So the thing that I wanted to highlight is that even on this alternate scenario, there is room for more upside. And if you look closely here, we are not finishing this impulse to the upside yet. Now, looking at the Ethereum, we are still testing this important trend line connected from the highs. May not be easy to break. Maybe in the short term you see some setbacks, and if you see some support, it really depends what kind of a structure will unfold from the highs. Will be in impulsive fashion, meaning we will have some confirmation that we are headed for a deeper correction in free waves, or maybe we'll have only minor free wave drop into that area and you see a rebound. So if we'll see a free wave movement into 3500, that in my opinion still could be just a wave forward with an uptrend, and maybe when we try to break the previous resistance here, which for now is a very strong one, but we will try to pay close attention to intraday charts to discover potential structures and opportunities there. Looking at Ripple, still only free waves from all-time highs. That was a pretty deep retracement all the way back towards $3. Some consolidation, as you can see, was there in mid of July. It stabilized, so maybe we are going to see more upside, but keep an eye on this bullish level. We still don't have an overlap with this one. Okay, an overlap could confirm further upside. If we don't see an overlap, then you would be able to count 5 waves down from the highs. In such case, I'm afraid that we will be seeing something like this deeper correction in ABC legs. Okay, so keep a close eye on these cycles. Maybe what will happen in the next 24 hours could give us really an idea that what is coming or what is happening. Okay, traders, basically that's it. As you can see on my list, that's it for today. MicroStrategy, I think we covered. We have MicroStrategy. By the way, I'm sure we will update it in our reports here on the stock. So make sure to register there, and you will be up to date when this one will be analyzed and mentioned in our report. Someone also asked for euro pound. I can make a quick look because I know I was looking at it earlier today. So the euro pound, what's the most important is that we have seen a run into that resistance. Okay, right here. So that was a pretty strong resistance, it seems. We tried to gap a bit higher, and now we are reversing. So I think that we are in a new corrective pullback here. It should be structured by 3 waves. Watch out for more weakness, more consolidation maybe more neutral price action as well. It's possible, because it doesn't mean that whenever you see correction that this one will be sharp. It could also be a bit more complex. So overall, I just think that whenever you see a 3-wave structure or a 7-swing correction from that highs, it could be new support or opportunity on euro pound to the upside. But for now, it looks like that we are still in the first leg of this correction that could last a bit longer. Okay, traders, once again, thank you for your attention. Make sure to visit us at wavetraders.com. Apply for a trial. If you have any questions, anything, make sure to try to contact me maybe on X. That's the easy part. Unless you're our member, then obviously you know that I'm in the chat room. What's also here that I need to say is that I will be leaving for vacation starting this week. I will try to be a whole week around, but then next week and week after I will be away, so that's when I will not hold the webinar. However, I could still do some analysis and share some of my views on social media, especially if I will see anything interesting and important. But we'll certainly give an update when the next webinar is going to be launched, sometime in the mid of August, I believe. So traders, good luck, and I will catch you with new updates in the next few days here in our members area at wavetraders.com. Good luck. Bye.